All right, today we're jumping into a really interesting Reddit review I came across for a system called Streamshark. The whole review centers around one big question. What if you could make money online without having to become a full-blown content creator? Let's break down what this user found out.
So, this is where it all starts. The reviewer kicks things off with a feeling I think a lot of people can relate to. You want an online income, for sure, but you're just tired of the idea of the creative grind, the pressure to perform, to constantly be on. What if that's just not you?
So here's how we're going to walk through their review. First, we'll look at what they call the content creator trap. Then, the alternative they discovered. We'll see how Streamshark actually works, who they think it's for, and finally, their biggest takeaway from the whole experience.
Okay, so first up, the reviewer really hones in on this common problem, this frustration they felt with a lot of the so-called beginner-friendly methods out there.
And here it is, the core issue they identified. You see a system that looks simple on the surface, but underneath there's this huge, hidden expectation. It's secretly demanding that you become a personality, that you constantly pump out new ideas and perform for an audience day after day.
And this is what that actually looks like in practice. You've got to be on camera, use your voice, brainstorm ideas, build an audience from scratch. The reviewer's big insight here is that it's not that these things are technically hard, it's that they are mentally heavy. This is the stuff that leads to burnout.
You know, it all boils down to this one simple but really powerful question the reviewers started asking themselves. Forget how much money a system promises. Does the actual process make your life easier, or does it just add more weight, more friction?
Okay, so with that problem in mind, let's look at the alternative that really caught the reviewer's eye because it works on a totally different principle.
And here is that fundamental shift. It's about moving away from the stress and the pressure of creating and focusing on one simple, repeatable action: uploading. That's it. Not performing, not branding yourself, just uploading.
This comparison really drives the point home, right? On one side, you have creating, which the reviewer says feels like homework. You have to invent everything and build traffic from zero. On the other side, there's uploading. That feels like running a system, where you just plug into traffic that already exists. The only thing required of you is consistency.
All right, so that's the theory, but how does it actually work? Let's dive into what the reviewers saw once they were on the inside of the Streamshark system.
So here's the core idea, the big promise. The whole point of this system is to do the heavy lifting for you. It actually generates the audio clips, it points you to the platforms that already have huge audiences, and the whole monetization plan is already figured out.
And what really stood out to the reviewer was just how simple the workflow is. We're talking a 3-step loop. Step 1 is a fast, guided setup, so there's no guesswork. Step 2, the system makes the audio for you. And Step 3, well, your only real job is to upload it.
And maybe even more important is what you're not doing. The review makes a point to say there are no long, painful editing sessions, no complicated content calendars to manage, and absolutely no pressure to be on for an audience. It's designed to be lean.
Okay, so after going through all that, the big question is, who is this actually for? The Redditor gives a pretty clear picture of who they think this system is built for.
Well, according to the review, it's perfect for a few types of people. Beginners who want a clear, guided path, people who really don't want to show their face or use their voice online, anyone who's just burned out from that post-daily hustle, and, well, anyone who wants a repeatable system, not another creative project. And to make it even more clearer, the review tackles 3 of the most common questions people have. Do I need my own voice? Nope, the system generates it. Do I need to be creative? No, it's a method, not a creative career. And what about traffic? Again, no. You just plug into the platform's existing traffic. The system handles these big friction points.
All right, let's bring it all home. What was the reviewer's final verdict? The biggest win they found in the entire Streamshark system?
And you know what? The biggest win wasn't some kind of magic button. It was all about one thing: momentum. The reviewer's point is that most people fail because their method is just too heavy to even get started. This system is designed to be light, so it's easy to be consistent and build up that crucial momentum over time.
But wait, there's one last thing. Before wrapping up, the reviewer highlights a final pretty important detail that they thought added a ton of value.
And it's a big one. We're talking over $1,100. That's the value of the bonuses the reviewer mentioned they got included with the package. A pretty significant benefit. So, the final takeaway from the reviewer is pretty direct. They say to grab it now to make sure you get those same valuable bonuses locked in. A final tip from someone who's already been through the process.